introducing people. I want to let them do that for themselves. You will notice that from the program, we're missing Lena West. She is not able to be with us. She had a personal emergency come up. But one of the reasons that the program is kind of packed this morning is that Lena, being Lena, recorded some video answering some of the questions that we had talked about together before the conference. So we'll be playing those for you, and Lena will be back in the saddle sometime soon, and we're going to figure out a way to have her answer any questions you might have for her as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over and just start this out by asking Dino and Chloe, how did you get here in your business life? What brings you to the stage today?
Chloe, you go first.
Okay. Let's see. I'm technically an accountant. Did you know that? Yes. I went to school for accounting. I have an accounting degree. Before I got involved with BlogPaws, I had my own accounting company, and I was deep in numbers and budgets and fun stuff. No, I keep a very tight purse string, so. And I just enjoy business, and I think it was my company, and so when you have your own company, as many of you know, you're your own salesperson, and so I was able to get a lot of experience in just getting out there and networking and finding that I really liked other things more than being at a computer and working in spreadsheets. And somehow I'm still doing that, but the things that brought me to here are mostly my mother, who got me blogging actually on a business blog. So I've been blogging since 2005. My first one was Davita Speaks, and it was all about small businesses and how to, manage time, how to work in QuickBooks. I'm still, unfortunately, a QuickBooks kind of expert, but no, I don't have an answer to your question. But I definitely learned a lot about business in the different clients that I worked with. So, being small and working in local Boulder, Colorado, and companies there, I had, real estate agents, I had venture capitalists as clients, I had a newspaper, I had a lot of different businesses, so I really got to learn a lot about a lot of different businesses. So when they started blogging, I was like, sure, I'll do that, that sounds fun. So I did that for a while, and then when BlogPaws came up, they came to me from this Blog Career conference, and they're like, we have this great idea. I don't know if you know my mom and Tom, but they have lots of great ideas. So part of me was like, oh, okay, another great idea. And then I got to meet Caroline, and it all kind of fell into place, and next thing I know, they're coming to me with a check. Here we have the check, we need to deposit it. Can you set up a company?
That was our business plan. Get the check first.
Yes. So I did, and I just really loved what they were doing, and I saw it taking off, and I was sort of feeling like I had served my purpose in the accounting world. I had done that for, believe it or not, 14 years, and just started to transition. So pretty much from that point forward, I learned more about blogging, learned more about the business of blogging, and went from one to the other, kind of retired from all of my clients and gave them to my employees, and here I am.
Chloe's being modest about the getting started in blogging stuff. She was such a star and such a QuickBooks expert that Intuit invited her to blog for them almost from the beginning.
Right on.
Yes.
Dino.
Thank you. Are you guys drinking a lot of water? You can laugh, but I'm totally serious.
This is the healthcare portion of the
Absolutely. Business. You guys, those of you who've never lived in a desert, you don't know how dry and arid the air is. And if you're not drinking, you will get sick. I've lived in a desert for 2 years. I know. So, and when I say desert, I don't mean like in a hole. It was Tucson. So it was kind of a hole. Never mind. Anyways. My name is Dino. I was born and raised in Bosnia, refugees in the house. I came to the States back in like 95, and the timing was good for IT field. I know at least some of you here have experience in the IT field, computers, for those of you who are not initiated. And I was in that field for a long time. I did pretty well, but then I got bored with computers and discovered people. So In 2009, I started blogging about dogs and motorcycles, because those were my two passions. And I had a motorcycle vertical, that's what geeks call it. It was essentially a social network for motorcyclists. And it was pretty good. It's kind of fizzled out by now, but it was a great learning experience in so many ways, both blogging and business and all of that. And then I held these aspirations to write a book about human-dog relationship, and that's why I started my dog blog in 2009, dogandogs.com. It's defunct now. So the book was supposed to be 18 chapters. I gave up after I wrote the 16th chapter. So I'll come back to it. Being a network engineer for a bunch of years and being really geeky, I started just devouring information about stuff like SEO and online marketing and all these things, and how to get on top of Google and all that stuff. And I saw a lot of fallacies and holes, logic holes that just couldn't be filled with anything practical. So I started sort of writing my own thing on my dog blog about how I go about sort of driving traffic to my dog blog. And after a while, it became embarrassing to send clients or potential clients to my dog blog to read information about social media. So I started like a real...
what's your point?
I started a real blog, like DIYblogger.net. I don't use that one anymore either, but DIYblogger.net might be the highest converting blog in the blogosphere. And the reason I say that is because the reason I own my company today, Triber, we've been in business for 3 years now. The reason I'm living the life I love, coming to places like this and talking to you guys, this is not work for me. This is a treat. All of that happened because of that blog, DIYblogger.net. I had a few hundred really loyal readers, and when I started Triber, I told them, go sign up. And they were like, what's Triber? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Just go sign up, right? And from those few hundred readers, we grew this business that now has close to 100,000 tribes, groups of bloggers. So, here I am. This is my 4th year speaking at Blog World. I started in the dog world of dog blogging, so, these are my people. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
All right, that's great. A couple of takeaways quickly from what Dino just said is that whatever you think your business is or should be, let your customers tell you. The evolution that Dino went through, several different blogs, several different businesses, and that's what got him here. Everybody looks at the people who are successful at the moment and overnight success, so why was it so easy for them? It's not easy for anybody. So just tighten your chin strap and get down to work if you're going to have a business. So at this point, I'm going to have them play Lena's first video where she talks about what she thinks is the #1 killer of goals. And Lena, take it away.
Let's talk about competing commitments, okay? So competing commitments, the thing is everybody's got them. Every single one of us. Me, you, everybody. We all have competing commitments. If someone says they don't have a competing commitment, either they don't understand what it is, they're in denial, or they're lying, or some combination thereof, right? So the thing about competing commitments is we usually don't know that we have them, and they are the #1 thing that stops us from doing the things that we say we want to do. They're the #1 goal crusher. So first of all, what is a competing commitment? The best way for me to explain it to you is to give you an example. So you know how You say you want to do one thing in your life or in your business. You want to do this big thing, whatever it is. You have a big goal or even just a medium-sized goal, but you have a goal, right? And for whatever reason, you never get around to doing it. It just never happens. You never take the next step. You forget. You put it on the back burner. Something happens. Whatever. There's always something that comes up, right? The reason that that happens is you have a competing commitment. So let's see what that looks like in an example. Let's say that you say to yourself, you know what? I would like to have 5 more clients, or I would like to have 5 more people give regular donations to my shelter in the next month. But let's say you know that, or you feel that with donations comes more work, or a different type of report that you have to send out to people, or something along those lines. Let's say that you attach in the back of your mind, this isn't something that you understand consciously, but let's say in the back of your mind you think more donors equals more work, or more donors or more clients equal more paperwork, something that you loathe, you don't like. Secretly, you're going to sabotage that goal of getting 5 more donors or 5 more clients. It's never going to work because you're attaching it in the back of your mind and your subconscious to something you don't want to do. That is a competing commitment, ladies and gentlemen. How do you know if you have one? Example that I gave a moment ago. If you've ever set a goal and that goal, for whatever reason, has not come to pass, you have not achieved that goal, and it's something that you still want to do and something that you're still interested in, 99% of the time, you've got a competing commitment around it. How do you solve this problem, right? So it's not enough. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that. Sometimes it is enough to know about it. It's like G.I. Joe says, knowing is half the battle, right? So I think that the best thing that you can do in terms to get to the bottom of solving these competing commitments is really to say to yourself, okay, do I have competing commitments? All right, I've said that I want to do this thing, XYZ thing over here. I want to do this goal here. But it's been 3 months, it's been 6 months, it's been 9 months, it's been a year, it's been 4 years, 5 years, whatever, and I haven't done it yet. Do I have a competing commitment? In the back of my mind, what does this goal represent to me? When you start asking yourself these questions, and get out your journal, write your answers down. Sometimes you have to ask yourself the question and then come back to it a couple days later, and that's when you'll get your answer. It's really interesting how competing commitments work, because your mind and your brain wants to keep you safe and it wants to keep everything the same, and let's not rock the boat. And so you may really, really feel with your whole soul that you want this goal so badly. You want to achieve this thing. But if it is in any way tied to something that you don't want to do, or an end result that you attach to this goal, whether it's conscious, most likely it's not, you're never going to achieve that goal until you get to the bottom of it. So competing commitments are huge. It is something to take a look at. I want you guys, all of you, to go after this keynote, go, or when you get back to your rooms tonight, whenever, and you have internet access, just Google competing commitments, and you will see the wealth of articles that come up. It is real. It is a real thing, and it is the number one thing that is stopping you right now from doing the thing that you know you want to do with your heart and soul, but you just can't muster up the courage, or you don't know what to do, or you think you need another certification, or you think you need more money, or whatever it is. Competing commitment are the number one things, the number one obstacles that are stopping you from getting what you want, from achieving the goals you set, and from having the life and the business you love.
All right. Yep. So I'm going to actually come down with you guys in case there are questions. I'll be able to run around and hand mics to people.
Jerry.
No. I fancy myself more a Phil Donahue kind of guy, but maybe you guys aren't old enough to
We're not going to break any
remember
chairs
him.
up here.
All right, so we'll start next with Dino. In prepping for this, What do you see around the bend in the social space? Where is all of what we do every day going?
Yeah, you know, we're already around the bend. It's just that a lot of us don't realize it. And when I say a lot of us, I don't just mean bloggers. I think we mostly realize it. Agencies and brands may not be seeing this yet. But let's take a really long view of the media space. And I'll use TV as an example, but we could also say the same thing about newspapers and radio and magazines, all other media. Between like 1940 and 1992, your TV essentially had 3 channels for most people: CBS, ABC, NBC, right? And during that time, and you guys remember this, some of you were kids, some of you were parents during this time, back in like the 90s and 80s and whatnot, you'd come home at the end of the day and the entire family would sit in front of one screen, TV, and they would watch one channel. And that was it. So marketing, getting eyeballs on your product, on your content, whatever, right, service, whatever it is that you're trying to sell, marketing back then was simple. You shoot a commercial, you put it on one of these channels, and everybody sees it, right? All you needed was money. You didn't need talent. You know, you were a marketing genius if you can do that, right? How does that same scene look today? The entire family comes home, and not 2 people never watch the same screen. Each person has at least 1, often 2 or 3 screens. The iPhone, or the phone, or the tablet, or the laptop, the computer, and the TV's been relegated to, a second or third or fourth screen. And all of us have our own. And our screens each have hundreds, thousands, millions of channels. So what has happened to the media space is this tremendous fragmentation. And a lot of brands are struggling, for this reason. It's like, if I'm a brand, my question is, how do I reach people? How do I get people's attention? You know who fragmented the space? You did. You fragmented that space. The eyeballs, the audience, the attention is across bazillions of these new channels. And those channels are your blogs. So I want to conclude this rant with 2 simple statements. Your blog is not a blog. Your blog is a media property. You are the new CBS. The only difference is you're a little bit smaller. That's the only difference. And you guys are not bloggers. You are celebrities to your audience, right? And I'll give you a quick story. So I talked about this in a blog post a while back, and a buddy of mine, some of you know him, Jeff Livingston. Denise, you know Jeff, right? He's a great online personality. He respectfully disagreed with me. He doesn't think that bloggers are celebrities because, as he says it, he's a blogger himself. He goes to the supermarket, nobody recognizes him, right? That's true. That's true. That night, I was at a baseball game with another friend of mine, Ralph Rivera, Web Search Social. Great blog. Go check it out. I was with him at a baseball game, and he was telling me about his relaunch of Web Search Social and how he wanted to get Jeff's book, like he wanted to get like 500 copies of Jeff's book to sort of as a perk for people who sign up for the relaunch and stuff like that. And the way Ralph was talking about Jeff was the way 15-year-old girls talk about Justin Bieber, right? Jeff was a celebrity to Ralph. And I'm like, Jeff, you are a celebrity in your face, right? So it's, where is our audience taking their attention? And if they're paying attention to you, you are a celebrity in their eyes. So that's, I guess, really that's the shift that's happening in the marketplace that I just wanted to sort of put words to it so everyone understands where we are.
Okay, so Dino's word is celebrity. You guys are all celebrities. And now Chloe in her whip-cracking role talks to us about operations now and then. So I wanted to ask her about what does business operations mean to the blogging business?
So business operations is sort of one of those words people hear and think, yeah, like, what is that? Do I have to do that? What does that mean? The answer is yes. You have to have process. You have to, and that it spans many things from the beginning of knowing your audience, so you know kind of the processes you need to put in place to serve them. And then you need to have, especially when we're talking about the business of blogging, you have to have a plan. So, there's not only keeping track of the money, so you have to have a way to record your income, record your expenses. IRS doesn't like it when you don't. You have to have a way to work with people. So, my motto is get it in writing. I don't care if they're your best friend. If you're doing business, get it in writing. You have to know your expectation, you have to know what's being asked of you, and you have to know your deliverables. And if you can all agree on that and it's in writing, you've got something to go back on. If it's not in writing, all the verbal stuff, I'm sure we've all done it. I know I've done it anyways, where I end up in a position where I'm like, crap, I swore this is what that person said. And they're like, no, it was this. And, so that's a process. That's part of being prepared when you've got somebody coming to you that wants to work with you. Get it in writing. Know what that writing is. It doesn't have to always be a crazy long contract, but you should have some very specific things that you know what you're asking of a person when they're hiring you and what they're asking of you. So, what are you paying me? What exactly am I doing? Am I covering a blog post that's a product review? Am I agreeing to share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, do a Pinterest push? You can't always put into terms the exact ROI of this is how many impressions I'm going to get you, but you can get a good estimate based on how many times you say you're going to do, X, Y, Z with the content you're creating. Put it in writing because it just lays it out there for both of you, something to go back to. And then when you get to the point of continuing to build those relationships, you need to think about how are you managing all these contacts? Is this a networking contact, a blogging contact, a brand that you're working with, a PR person that's going to help you do something? There's a lot of different buckets, and you should be prepared to help keep your contacts in those buckets so that when you have something come up and you say, oh, I need to reach out to all my PR people, there should be somewhere you go and just say that here's my list of PR people that I know. And not a lot of people do that. They just kind of think of contacts in this one bucket. And we don't all have, all this money to invest in a nice, customer client management system where you've got a database and you can do all these different things. But Excel, like I said, I'm still working in Excel, but it is a way to just, have your columns. You've got a name, you've got email, have a field that's for, how do you know this person? What is their relationship to you? And keep things sorted by that so that it makes it easier for you to find those people. Because when you're in a bind, all of a sudden the work gets more stressful and everything sort of escalates. So the more prepared you are for that to happen, the easier you're going to be able to function, and the easier the turnout of what you do is going to feel like a success. Like in the end, that's what we all do this for. There's struggle, there's, prep, there's all these things you go through to get to the end, but if we can all get to that end and take a deep breath and be like, that was amazing, that was awesome, this is what I accomplished, then you've got something and you're feeling it, and it becomes pride. And we all want to feel really special about what we're doing, and we want to feel like we're affecting things and making a change and making a difference. So take the time to look at your operations from all of those things. You've got to have your process, you've got to have, your get it in writing, you've got to have an organization of contacts for everything. And then you've got to have a plan for your inventory. What's inventory? We have blogs, we don't have, product. What are you talking about? You have only so much content that you can put on your blog. And everybody's different. Some people blog twice a week, and there's very specific content on what that is. Some people blog every day. Some people blog more than once a day. There's a variety there, but your audience sort of gets to know what to expect from you. So know your inventory. Know what you have to sell. Don't oversell yourself. Don't undersell yourself. Really get a good editorial calendar going so that you can manage all that time and all the content that you want to think about creating, and look forward so that you can plan ahead on, okay, this is what's coming up next month. I need to be prepared because it's 4th of July and there's a lot of pet safety things that go on, and the most dogs actually end up in shelters because they get scared of the noise and they run away, and cats hide too because that's that creates anxiety in the different environment and the loud noises. And there's a lot of things around that, but be prepared ahead of time. So, always be looking in advance. So those are some touch points. There is a lot to what you can do, and sometimes it really depends on your particular blog and your particular audience. If anyone's interested, I'm happy to kind of discuss and help you talk through what things you individually should be thinking about, but that's a good overview of what you need to be, what needs to be in your business plan for building your blog.
Great stuff. And in case anybody was tempted to fall asleep, go back to Lena's video. This is the kind of stuff that she's talking about with competing commitments. It may not be the fun, sexy part of running a blogging business, but if you don't address it and you don't understand and aren't willing to do the work that is involved in that, your goal will be crushed, as Lena put it. So Dino, you talked when we were preparing about the timing being right now for bloggers. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. There's a great opportunity for bloggers coming up, and part of it is tied to what I said earlier, right? This tremendous fragmentation of the space, and agencies and brands are starting to realize that audience is at your blogs, right? That's where the eyeballs are, and bloggers are really good at being able to tell a story and move their audience to some kind of action. So there's that stuff that's happening that I mentioned earlier, and simultaneously there's this other thing that's happening. And this other thing that's happening is, so if you look at, I'm all about the long view, right? I'm all about the kind of a historical perspective. So if you look at a blog from 100 years ago, and yeah, there were blogs 100 years ago, you just call them magazines and newspapers, right? In fact, not to go off on a tangent, but I don't know if you guys know this, but the very first blog was written 48,000 years ago in El Castillo, Spain. A caveman 48,000 years ago dried up some berries and crushed them up into a powder form, put his handprint, and blew a handprint on the cave wall, and that was the first infographic. That was the first wall post. Mark Zuckerberg didn't invent that. Yeah. But I'm going off on a tangent. 100 years ago, if you had a magazine or a newspaper, radio, a little bit later on TV, whatever, how did you monetize your content? And the answer is ads. That's how newspapers and radio and TV monetizes their content. Today, Googles and Facebooks of the world, how do they monetize, they pulled a little trick on us, our content? Ads. They don't even make content anymore. We do it for them. But how does Google and Facebook monetize their content? And the answer is ads. So are you telling me that over hundreds of years, as technology evolved, we can't come up with a better monetization strategy than ads? I refuse to believe that, right? And then there's a bunch of other issues involved with ads, right? Ads are the reason you have no privacy, right? Your information is collected under the pretense of we'll serve you more relevant ads so that you can spend more money, right? They create a really terrible user experience. And by the way, those of you who have ads on your blog, listen, if you're making a ton of money with it, keep doing it, right? I'm really generalizing here, okay? I need you guys to know that. And then the third issue with ads is they're just not that effective. They're effective for some things, but they're not effective for all things, and they're becoming less effective as the time goes on. When was the last time you clicked on a banner ad? Right? What is effective is, different people call it different things. I know BlogPaws has been running a kind of a brand ambassadorship, brand advocacy program where you guys are hired to essentially be kind of a celebrity spokesperson for a brand. It's like Michael Jordan for Nike, but scaled out, right? And that's where things are going. You guys are celebrities, brands and agencies are recognizing this, and they're hiring you to be a spokesperson for them. And that's basically an old model, right? That is an old model. Hollywood's been doing it forever. It's up to us, of course, to choose the right brands to work with, brands that are relevant to us, relevant to our audience, congruent with us as bloggers. But that is where things are going. So that is the next opportunity in terms of making a living, not just monetizing your blog, right? There are ways to monetize your blog, but there are no ways to actually make a living blogging, right? That's the whole other level. And you know, that's starting now. It's starting where you will be able to start to make a living with your blog, with your audience. So that's where things are going.
All right. So, Chloe, back to the business side of things. If the time is right for folks to either start monetizing or to start growing their revenue from their blog, what do they need to do to prepare their business for that?
That's a good question. I'd like to know.
Okay, so if tomorrow, all these brands you met here, you get emails from 10 of them and they all want to work with you. What are you going to do? Are you ready? Are you prepared? Do you know your inventory? Do you know what you have to offer? Do you know what you're going to be giving them and how you're going to do it? And do you know how to work that out with them? Do you have your contract ready so that you can have it in writing? Kind of everything I said before about the operations, you need to have now. It's not one of those things to go, oh, well, I got to go home and think about that and do it as you go. Like, that should be step one. Step one is now look at the process, look at where you are, make sure you are prepared with the right contract. And I use that word loosely because obviously it's you're not a lawyer. I'm not expecting you to put together, you know, indemnifications and all these kinds of things. But you should have the basics, and you can actually just Google that. When you're unsure, Google a basic contract. It will give you the points that you need, and you can fill in the stuff behind that. So you need a template. Create a template. You need letterhead. Everything you put out that you do stuff on should be on your brand. Your brand is very important, and everything you do should be represented by your brand, and your blog is your brand. So take that seriously, and be prepared to have it incorporated in everything that you do and everything you put out there, because that's going to make you remember. That's how people are going to really remember you. You know, they're going to see that over and over and over. It's an osmosis thing, sort of like your name in relationship building. You just start to remember more and learn more about people, the better you get to know them. So let people get to know your brand. So be prepared with that. Be prepared to have a clear understanding. Communication is probably one of the biggest and most difficult things to do successfully, because no matter how hard we all try, an email falls through the cracks, an email is read wrong, and then all of a sudden there's a whole new conversation that you didn't intend to taking place. You know, all of that is very important. So be prepared to, you know, communicate effectively, professionally, friendly. One of the things I know that I do, and I probably need to work on, is I probably use exclamation points too much or smiley faces too much. But it's really hard in an email to say something and not sometimes either sound curt or sound too quick, and those little things kind of help. So, you know, it's finding that balance, but make sure you know your voice and how you're talking to people, because you're always representing yourself. There's never a time when you're in front of somebody and you are not representing yourself and your blog. You know, so you have to be prepared with that. And most importantly, know your audience, because you shouldn't do things or work with people who your audience is going to be like, what is this about? It has to fit. It has to be a two-way street. You've got to be able to work with brands that fit with you and also fit with your audience. So knowing who you're talking to and who your blog is supposed to speak to is very important to figure out right away. And if you haven't quite figured it out yet, you know, now is kind of the time to make that move. Maybe you intended your blog to be just, you know, friendly, funny stories of your dog and sharing all these photos, and it turns out that everybody is amazed by all your photos, and all of a sudden you're giving photo tips and all of this, and so your blog has taken a shift. You know, embrace that. If that's what's drawing your audience and that's what people are coming to your blog to read, you know, embrace it. Assuming it's what you want to embrace. You know, that's obviously the biggest thing, is you have to be passionate about what you're doing. So make sure it's You're serving your audience, but don't forget to serve yourself. But listen, and so know that. So it's part of the whole operations thing. Again, it's kind of like the only way to be prepared is to know your processes are in place. So when all of these things come and land in your lap, you are ready to go with it. You can say, okay, I know what to do now. This person wants to work with me. I've got my contract. I've got this. I've got, make a checklist. Somebody wants to work with me. This is what I have to do. This is how I need to do it. Go through that every single time. Keep a record. That's actually another good thing. Keep a record of every campaign or sponsored post that you do. Don't be like some of us, including me, going back to your blog and searching. Don't go, oh God, I know I did that before. What did I say about that? And go to your blog and you're searching. Have a record. I did this post on this date for this brand, and this is why. This is how they found me. The more information that you can collect and have, you are just going to feel so much more prepared every time a new opportunity comes up to not only run with it, but exceed with it.
All right, great. We have a question.
Yes.
This is a little bit onto this topic, but I've got a lot of people coming at me saying, okay, well, we want to either put a banner up on your blog or we want to do an affiliate marketing program with you. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to kind of weed out the ones that are, I don't know, weaselly. But how do you decide what ads and stuff to run and what price point you are going to charge for that in order to start monetizing? That's what I have trouble with. Thank you.
You want to?
Well, Chloe, I'd prefer that you take this one because my answer is don't run ads. That's, thank you. Yeah, and again, I'm generalizing, right? I would put an ad on my blog if they paid me enough, but they would never pay me the price I'd want, So I'm anti-ad all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there's different kinds of ads. So not only placement, whether you're talking about the banner or a side ad, which even those come in different sizes, and footers, and there's so many different ways to advertise on your blog. And there's like the Google AdWords. There's a lot of different options. One, I would look at your blog as, obviously it's a representation of yourself. So if you're looking at your blog and all of a sudden you see like ads everywhere, you don't want that, obviously. But you want to find somebody that you support, because this is, when you're putting in advertising up there, you want it to be something you believe in, because you're putting it out there to your audiences. And that doesn't mean it has to be something you use. You don't have to use everything you support. There's a lot of really good information out there. We can't all use every single product and every single thing, but it could be a very useful thing to share with your readers. So don't, I feel like some people kind of get caught up on, if I won't use this, I won't share it. And I'm not even, I know there's different things. I'm not even speaking to different foods and stuff, because that brings in a whole new level of things and beliefs. But just in general, products and anything from pet stuff to even people stuff. But if it's something you feel is important to your readers, like your readers would come to your blog and see that and it would be important, then it's a good fit. I mean, if you think about Google, they have tons of advertising, but when you go to Google, what are you doing? You're searching for things. So obviously you are their audience. Whatever you put in there, and you get these like top links that are the advertisements, but you asked for that information. When people go to a blog and land on it, they're not necessarily asking for that information. But at the same time, if they're coming to you as a resource and they want to know, what you would recommend or what's a good thing to know, how they can educate themselves better about other products out there, then that is a good thing to carry, because it's something that, my readers would want to know about this. I think it's something that they would be interested in. Then there's a good fit. So sometimes it's not just about you and what you use and what you believe or what, all these things, but what is your audience looking for? And kind of look at it from that perspective, is what am I providing to them?
Would you do it for free? Would you do it for free? Would you put that ad up for free?
For a nonprofit, I would.
Great. If it's a for-profit, right, it's like, would I do it for free? Would this serve me or my audience? If the answer is yes, that's a good candidate for making money. But if the answer is no, then it's like, okay, so I wouldn't do it for free. How much money are they going to give me? It's like you're going to have to do like a balancing act. What I've done, I have ads all over the place, everywhere I publish, but it's in my content. And it's not an ad. I'm just telling a story about what happened to my company. And guess what happens? It just drives traffic and attention to my company. So having a product or a service might help, so you can talk about that process and whatnot. Kind of be a little more clever than just an ad. Yeah.
When it comes to that, does everybody know what CPM is?
Cost per impressions, right?
Per thousand.
Yeah.
Yeah, cost per thousand impressions. And it's the standard term used when you have advertising. When somebody comes to buy something, they're going to pay a CPM. And so you figure out how many impressions the ad's going to get, or they buy a certain amount of impressions, and then you break that down by, the CPM ratio, and then you say, okay, I'm paying, a $3 CPM, a $5 CPM. So it's kind of one of those places that I don't necessarily want to encourage that, because there's a different value when you're talking about niche. So, you go to Google AdSense kind of stuff, and you don't know what eyes are getting on that. It's wherever it is. You don't know if it's, you're a pet blogger, and all of a sudden your ads are appearing all over on like a mommy blogger thing in its diaper. It doesn't always fit, but you've got a niche, so you know if this person is advertising on your site, that's their people. Those are the eyes exactly they're looking for. There's a bigger value there. So CPM is the known term, and it's how brands look at things. They want, they need the breakdown. They've got to know an ROI. In the end, everybody from the blogger to the brand wants to know their ROI. As bloggers, we're trying to build awareness, so it's not always about driving sales. It's about creating longevity in content, so that as people are out there searching for things, that information comes up in searches and is more accessible to the general public. And that's really the purpose we serve. So I'm happy to kind of discuss that more. It's probably a breakdown I don't need to get into right now, but that's kind of a general accounting to it.
Yeah. One other thing I would say about ads is, if you're going to run, and people who know me and my history in BlogPaws are going to think I'm lost my mind here. Yeah. But when it comes down to CPM ads, it just doesn't seem to be working for bloggers, as far from our experience. But there is another model. If a company is coming to you and wants to run a display ad, I would treat that as a sponsorship and sell it at a monthly tenancy rate. They don't get CPM, and ROI is their problem as far as I'm concerned. If they want the ad on your blog, you should be selling it at a monthly tenancy rate. And there are published places where you can find out what other people are charging. Talk amongst yourselves. Do not engage in price fixing. But researching what the market is for a monthly rate, whether it's $195 a month or $75 a week or whatever it is, the ads are sold that way. They're usually termed sponsorships rather than advertising, but there are other ways to sell banner displays on your blog. Okay, I think we need to really keep moving along here. So let's play Lena's. We were going to wrap up with top 3 tips from each of the panelists, and let's do Lena's now.
So what are my top 3 takeaways for you guys today? The first takeaway is this: stop trying to do more with less or more for less. Stop it. Every single time you try to do more with less or more for less, you are manifesting lack into your reality. Every single time you try to scramble and say, well, let me see if I can make this budget stretch. Let me see if I can do more with the little bit of money that I do have. Every single time you say that to yourself, what you are doing is you are teaching yourself how to accept less. It is unbelievable to me that we say, how can I do more with less? How can I do more with less? How can I do more with less? How about doing more with more? How about trying to figure out, how do I get more people interested? How can I get more people to pay me for my services? How can I charge more? How can I get more income coming in? You know, it's just amazing. It really, truly is amazing to me that we speak these things and we say these things to ourselves, and we don't understand the true impact that they have in our lives and in our businesses. So just stop trying to do more with less and more for less. You know what I want you to start doing? I want you to start planning to receive more. I want you to start planning for success. I want you to start expecting a positive outcome. When you expect a positive outcome, you'll be amazed at what happens. You'll be amazed at what shows up in your life and what shows up in your business. So many times people ask me, well, how did you get that, Lena? How did you achieve that? How did you do this thing? How did you get this client? And I say, well, I just expected that they were going to want to work with me, and I just made it happen. We made it happen together, whatever. Start expecting a positive outcome. Stop trying to do more with less. My second takeaway, I'm going right back to the competing commitments, because one of the things that Chloe and Dino and I were talking about when we were getting this keynote together for you guys before the conference started, on our teleconference call that we had together, is that so many of us, we're not even prepared for the things that we say we want, right? So if you say, okay, well, Lena, I want 5 new clients, or I want 10 new clients, are you ready? Are you really ready for those 10 new clients, or those 5 new clients, or even that 1 new client? What would you do tomorrow if I knocked on the door of your business, your home office, wherever it is that you work, and I gave you a list of 10 new paying clients? Are you ready? Do you have the infrastructure ready? Right? If you have a shelter, or if you are running any kind of other business, if you're a blogger, this is great. So you're a blogger. Most of you are. Hello, right? That's why we're here. You're a blogger, and 10 new advertisers or 10 new sponsors come to you tomorrow. Is your advertising set up? Are you set up? Are you ready to get those ads in? Do you have the paperwork? Are you ready to process the payment? Oh, that is a huge thing, right? That's a competing commitment. That's a form of a competing commitment. Not being ready for the business you say you want. That's the second takeaway. Start getting prepared. Prepare yourself for success. So often people, our mentors and consultants, tell us, prepare for the worst. Be ready, have a backup plan, have a plan B. Okay, yeah, that's great. But you know what? You know what I want you to have? I want you to have a plan for success. How about you planning for when you win? How about you planning for your victory? How about you planning for when those 10, 5, 2, 3, whatever new clients come down the pike? How about you be ready for that? That's what I want you to do. When you leave this conference, I want you to get ready, because it's coming. The third takeaway I want to leave you with, and this, my friends, my lovely, lovely BlogPaws family, is a big, big, big one. And it's something that I'm focusing on this year and beyond, and that is self-care. You have got to take care of yourself, because I am here to tell you the money means nothing, the visibility means nothing, the fame means nothing, the media coverage means nothing, the sponsors, the clients, none of it means anything if you are not healthy and vivacious and alert and aware and able to enjoy all of those things and share them with the people that you love. I'm going to close this video out by sharing something that Susie Orman says, and I absolutely love it because it fits for her, but I'm going to adapt it for my own needs to share with you guys today. So Susie Orman ends every single one of her shows by saying, people first, then money, then things. And what I'm going to share with you today is you first, then money, then things. Take care of yourselves. You are your business. I don't care if you have 5 employees or 10 employees. You are the steward of the vision. You are the holder of the vision for what it is you're building, for the brand that you're building, for the business that you're building, for the organization that you are building. And you need to be well, and you need to be healthy to enjoy it. I love all of you, and I miss all of you.
Okay, Dino, tough act to follow. What are your top 3 tips?
I know, right?
Yeah,
That's not fair.
what she said.
Show of hands. How many of you have not started your blog yet? Okay, so there's few people here. Guys, if you don't have a blog, you don't have a voice. And those of you who already have a blog, you know this, you understand this intuitively. Those of you who don't have a blog, you don't have a voice, get going. Start your blog. For those of you that do have a blog, I'd like to extend to what Chloe was saying earlier about being ready for the brand. And in fact, Lena was sort of implying the same thing. Try to figure out what brands you would like to be a spokesperson for, right? And then take a stock of your blog and of your online footprint and try to figure out if you're ready. So I'll give you an example. If the brand that you want to work with is a very, let's say, feminine brand, and they have kind of a aura of elegance about them, that brand is not going to work with a blogger that has 19 ads all over the page, right? Or it has like a loud masculine background maybe, right? So I've vetted over 1,000 bloggers in the last year for dozens of campaigns. And a lot of them just didn't, suit the campaign. Don't feel bad. I myself wasn't suitable for most of the campaigns. But take stock of what you have and try to figure out if you're ready for the type of brands that you would like to work with, right? From a brand's perspective, in terms of having you as a spokesperson, they want you to write content and tell stories about the brand or the product or the initiative they're trying to share with the world, with your audience, right? Every single ad, every single link is an invitation to leave that content. That's how brands look at it. It's an invitation to leave you sharing your story. So naturally, they don't want that. So take stock of your blog and always go with the default answer, no. Should that be there? The answer is no. Should it be there? No. Should that ad be there? No. Should that menu option be there? No. Unless you can come up with like 5 good reasons why it should be there, it shouldn't be there. All right? So take stock and see if you're ready for what's coming. Number 2 is, guys, it takes a village to raise a baby. It takes a village to raise a blog. All right? You need a tribe. Build your tribe. Someone said it yesterday. You guys are lucky. Your tribe is here. All right? Help one another. You're going to look very magnanimous to your audience when you share somebody else's content. And in turn, they're going to share your content. All right? So build your tribe. And when you multiply that by 50 or 150, right? When you tap into each other's audience, individually you may not have a large audience, but collectively, you have a large audience. And this is what brands know. This is why brands come to you, right? And number 3 is join Triber. That's my company. And in fact,
Plug.
thank you.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. I actually have a cool little thing for you guys. If you go to triber.com/blogpaws, we've built a special page for you guys with a special discount, 3 months premium membership. No credit card required. If you like it, keep it. If you don't, just continue using it for free. You can do plenty of stuff for free. Second time. So triber.com/blogpaws. And, connect with one another, help each other, share each other's content. That's how you're going to grow your blog. That's how you're going to help other people grow as well. And of course, there's going to be a code on the bottom to enter on the page. It's BlogPaws. So go there, register, and have fun. Yeah. So those are my 3 tips.
All right. Go ahead. My turn? Okay. I'm going to try to be quick because I want to wrap up. We have a couple donations to give away and a few prizes and stuff. So let's get to that. And I actually had to write mine down. And I have more than 3. I'm going to try to wrap them up together because I'm like, I don't want to forget any of this.
I'm going to get my hook.
Okay, go get it. So my first one, and I had touched on this before, but it's get it in writing. I just can't stress that enough. No matter what it is, get it in writing. Always get it in writing. Next, know your expectations, and remember you're your own sales team. You have to be able to speak to what you can deliver and how great you are and what you can do, and don't feel bad. Don't be ashamed, or you're out there for a reason, and brands want to know who you are. Whether you're a growing blog, you've been blogging for a long time, you're just getting started, whatever it is, be excited and be proud. You are your sales team. You need to be out there and don't wait for them to come to you. Go to them. Show them what you can do. Show them how prepared you are. Be somebody to be sought after instead of waiting. There's, some people kind of think, oh, well, maybe this or maybe that, or I'll try this, and get yourself out there. Don't be afraid to get out there and network, like Dina was saying, with other bloggers that can kind of help, and you can help each other. That the collectiveness of what blogging is when it's at its most powerful. So don't be afraid of that piece. And let's see, know your inventory, manage your contacts, and have an accounting system. That's very important. I know it seems like nobody wants to do that piece, right? There's actually an online, if you go to QuickBooks.com, you can find, it's called QuickBooks Simple Start. It's a free version. It's not like a full QuickBooks thing, but it's pretty user-friendly, and it lets you at least keep track of your income, so you can create invoices and deposit them in the account when you actually get paid for them, and you can just enter your expenses. And as a blogger, those are the two main things. You don't need a lot of the other fluff and stuff. You just need to be able to track your income and your expenses. So if you don't know what to do, check that out. It's a really good resource. And finally, promote. There's it kind of ties in with the whole sales thing, but I don't think there's such a thing as too much promotion, whether it's for your blog, for content on your blog, for a relationship you're trying to foster. There's nothing wrong with promotion, and there's nothing, you just can't do it enough. And it's reciprocated. It's one of those things that ends up, coming back to you. So the more you put out there, the more you're going to get back. So promote.
All right. So we're a little tight on time here, and we don't want to get behind. So I think we're going to do the donations, but please hang for a sec when we get right to the end. Lena, too, has a special offer for you guys, and she put that in a 2-minute video, so I will play that at the very end so you can take down the information on how to get this bonus from Lena.
All right. This is Lena. Want to hold her check with me? This is who she decided to donate to. It's Unleashed. I know.
She's so much better at it than I am.
Good work. So thank you, Lena, for joining us via video. And then we have a special surprise. So Dino, you want to tell them about the surprise?
Yeah, I couldn't decide which charity to choose, so I figured I'll let you guys choose.
Yep.
Oh.
So what we did, when
yeah.
you dropped in your cards, we picked one out. So one of you in the room, if you remember when you registered, you nominated a shelter to get a donation, and we picked one of you out and went and looked at what shelter you nominated. So this is who is winning Dino's donation. Ready?
Yeah.
It's packed.
Packed.
I saw
So, and I know you're in the room
because
because I see your shirt. Come on up.
Yeah.
Where's
come on
Pack?
up.
Woohoo! Right on.
Packed for Animals. Yes. They are, let's see, Deborah, you're the one whose card was drawn. It's packedforanimals.org.
You want me to tell you what we do?
Come on up for a minute. Let's get a quick pic. Take the short route.
We have a really unique program. We foster animals for the military. That's where we started. But now we foster them for children's hospitals. We foster them for adults in hospitals. There's no charge. The foster homes don't charge. We actually put the animals in foster homes just like all your homes. We have a whole group of veterinarians that work with us, trainers, doggy daycares. We're building an infrastructure like nobody's ever seen in this country. And we're based around Philadelphia right now. I'm out of breath for running up here. Excuse me. Let me catch my breath. But we're based in Philadelphia right now. We've opened satellites in other parts of the country. We pulled back the satellites because the infrastructure we're building is just amazing. And it's like going to the Mayo Clinic in Minneapolis or somewhere else. military people are coming to us. They're actually driving the animals and flying them from places like California, Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina. I mean, there's nothing like it in the country, and what we're doing is preventing these animals from entering shelters. I've been rescuing animals for 30 years, and all the shelters I work with, I get enough.
I know, yeah. Come get a quick picture.
Absolutely, yes. Step in for the.
Photo op, photo op, photo op.
I'm getting here,
Where's
getting
the
here.
photographer? All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Want this?
Yep.
It's kind of cool, right?
One of us could break it in half.
Yeah.
Good deal. Congratulations.
Awesome. Okay, so what time is it? All right, we have a couple minutes. Yeah, let's do. So we have, I don't know what you call it. I think it's like 2 cases of Weruva cat food to give away. I thought all the cat ears perk up.
I'll do the heavy lifting.
All right, I'm gonna give this to, this is a dog blogger, and we have also a dog product up here, so if you don't mind, I'm gonna change what I was giving away. And to Carrie Knorr, you win Natural Balance, a big Natural Balance dog food basket. She has dogs. All right.
Oops.
Oh, well, this is actually quite suiting. Oli Davidson. Ollie? Oli? And this, he is with the Treehouse Humane Society, treehouseanimals.org, and they're a cat foundation. So that fits.
Is it all of it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All of it, yep, all of that food. We can help you ship it too.
There you go.
So, okay, okay. Take it for a minute just so we know it's for you, but come see me.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. We love when that happens. Okay, just a couple housekeeping announcements, and then we will send you on your way to have a wonderful, wonderful day. Right. Okay, so just a reminder, and I say this every time just because I always feel like I have to, but remember to keep pets on leash. And also, please just kind of, we're all excited, the pets get really excited, the atmosphere and the stimulation here is really high. So, if your pet needs a break, please listen to them. We have the Association of Pet Dog Trainers here, and they're kind of walking around trying to help if anybody has questions about that, or, they're just trying to help be some more eyes and ears to make sure all of our pets are friendly and everybody's happy, because we know that, again, it's just a very stimulating environment. And that said, all the dogs and stuff with their little barks and stuff, we love all that. But at the same time, if you're in a session and your dog is yapping incessantly, I hope everyone is respectful to know that it's sort of like a crying baby in the room when you're trying to pay attention. And since everyone's here to learn, just please keep that in mind. Obviously pets are welcome, they bark a little bit, but there's a difference between a few barks and a constant barking that makes everybody else feel like they aren't able to learn. So just be present, be respectful of everybody. I think this room is full of respectful people, so thank you for that. We do
And
appreciate
dogs,
all that.
pets.
Yeah, and dogs and pets, all of them, for sure. There's a snack break going on next door. Thank you to Pet Naturals, VetriScience. They're sponsoring that, so there's some snacks over in the exhibit hall, and you can get coffee and all that kind of good stuff. This evening, just to remind you of our events, we've got the Happy Meower in the exhibit hall, and Miss Kate Benjamin is going to be doing a book signing in the Cat Lounge for those of you interested in that. But there's just, it's kind of your last chance. Get some prizes, get some stuff, network with the sponsors. Figure out who you want to network with tomorrow. Brands specifically, we're closing the exhibit hall so that they can spend time with you more one-on-one. Figure out who you want to have a meal with. Go to breakfast, have lunch, do something with them to get to know them. Again, it's about the relationships. And we really want to foster that. We don't want them stuck behind their booth. We want them to be able to get out and network and mingle with you. So again, don't wait for them to come to you. Go to them. They're there for you, and they're interested. We also have Project Runway, which is after the exhibit hall Happy Meower, and that's going to be a really fun event. Think of like Project Runway's kind of similar. Lots of pets and creative, making creative stuff. We're going to have a contest for audience members and for the people who participate. You have to come and put your business card in a fishbowl, and we'll randomly draw out who gets to actually come up and walk and participate, but everybody gets to be involved. And there's really great prizes, one of which is the ASPCA is giving away $500 donation to the 501c3 shelter of your choice. So another good reason to come. And then after that is, of course, our Meet the Rescues. For all of the rescues in the room, you should be there. There's a link to sign up if you're actually a rescue and you want to have an opportunity to speak. But everybody is welcome. It is limited seating, though, so there's RSVP links at registration if you want to go do it. It just ensures your spot. But please come even if you didn't RSVP. If we have room, obviously everybody there is welcome, and it's a really good shelter network event. And then last, what we're going to leave you with is a final offer from Lena. And after that, I say, have a good BlogPaws day. Yeah.
Just
Also drink water.
Oh, right, yeah. There was a camera lost Wednesday evening at the Bissell event. It's a Canon camera. I don't know if anybody happened to see it or find it, but it is missing. So if you hear anything, please see a staff member because we have someone looking for it.
quick question before Lena starts. Is MK Clinton in the room? Hi. I owe you an apology. I left you standing at the registration desk yesterday. I got yanked away and then I totally forgot about it. My bad. If you want to stay for a sec, I'll talk with you. Lena.
All right, Lena.
Okay, so you guys know that every single year I like to gift to you. I like to leave you with something that's exciting, that's from me to you, a gift from my heart to yours. And this year it is none other than my latest product. It's called Local Influencer, how to build a digital city block of visibility around your local business. So for those of you who have local businesses, dog walkers, dog trainers, shelters, you name it, this is for you. And oh, by the way, even if you don't have a local business, this is a good product for you to consume. This is a good product for you to read and go through because it is going to help you too. Whether your business is local or not, it is going to help your business. I love this product. It's a multimedia product. I had a lot of fun creating it. It's a video training from me. There's a workbook that's associated with it that you can download and print it out. There are even interviews with other local business owners to tell you how they're doing social and the things that they're doing to be successful using social media and online media to get visibility for their business and to get new clients. I am super excited about it. I'm very happy that I can gift this to you. It is my thank you for understanding that I cannot be there with you live. So here's how to access it. Go straight over to bit.ly/BlogPaws 2014. That's bit.ly/BlogPaws 2014. And the password is easy peasy too. It is BlogPaws 2014. So go ahead, head over there now, download it, and I gotta tell you, this is just version 1.0. You're gonna get access to version 2.0 as well. This is my gift to you. Oh, by the way, if you're in my academy already, if you're a member of the Influence Expansion Academy, you don't have to worry about this. You're going to get access to this automatically as well, but you can go ahead and grab it today if you want to. Completely up to you. So this is, again, my gift to you. I'm happy to give it to you. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Have fun building your local influence. And let me know what you think. I miss all of you. Please take loads of pictures, upload them to Facebook, tweet me, and let me see all of your smiling faces because I do miss all of you. Enjoy the product. Take care.
She's at Lena West,
Yeah.
another one real easy to remember. So yeah, please share with Lena. It'll raise her spirits this weekend.
Yes. Thank you all very much.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your day. Enjoy a snack.